My name is Odishesa. I'm here to talk about how to get started in AutoCAD software. This will be the first page, the starting up of this tutorial. How do we get started with AutoCAD? Now, from my brief, what I have here, I said one of the first things to do in AutoCAD is how to create an environment. What is an environment? Environment in AutoCAD is just a place of work whereby you have to do your work. I'm very sure most of you must have done technical drawing when you are in school. In your secondary school. One of the first things that maybe your technical drawing teacher will ask you to do, to teach you, it will teach you how to set your drawing sheet. Then the same thing is applicable if you are getting started on AutoCAD. The first thing you just have to do, then I'll get started like this. I'm going to launch my AutoCAD software. It's loading. I'm using AutoCAD 2013. One of the first things to do is, if you are using a lower version of AutoCAD or you're using a higher version of AutoCAD, you don't have to be panicked on what we're going to do, because I'm going to be talking on mainly the most concernable aspect of this tutorial, of this software rather. First thing is that if you are using AutoCAD 2007 or if you are using the latest one, you might be used to this interface, and this is an AutoCAD drafting and annotation. If you are using AutoCAD 2013 downward, which is from 2007 to AutoCAD 2013, you might be used one of this environment. If you are using the latest one, you can be used to this drafting annotation. But most people are very familiar with using AutoCAD Classic. Then I'm going to switch to AutoCAD Classic. By getting started, how to do that is by clicking on this wheel symbol. Click on it. You can see drafting annotation, 3D basics, 3D modeling, and AutoCAD Classic. Click on AutoCAD Classic. Wait for some seconds. Then you see the change. You can see now it's different from the previous one, which is AutoCAD drafting and annotation. Arranging the toolbar perfectly into your home preferable position that you want it to be. Then, if you do that, then we must. I'm arranging. Then just put all these tool palettes somewhere you might prefer it to be. Then for you getting started now, for a bit imagine that some of you might be using a lower version of 2007 to 2010. They may be used to this what's it called AutoCAD Classic, but starting from 2014 upward, you may not be used to what's it AutoCAD Classic, because an advanced AutoCAD version. That's what I say. Now, in every year, in any AutoCAD version, they are always trying to do a better thing, and the credit goes to the Autodesk for them coming together, creating a very new version of AutoCAD for the benefit of the user. Then, if you are using AutoCAD 2007 or lower version, what we are going to do now, from what I put here in this sheet, I said how to get started. Number one thing, number A, which is how to create an environment. Step 1, setting a drawing limit. How do we set our drawing limit? Setting our drawing limit is whereby if you are using the same interval like my own, go to the format. If you click on the format, then if you are using a higher version, just click type limit. You can see type limit that you can see limit. Click on limit, and it will bring out what you want to use it for. Click on it, then it will bring out the same thing you are going to select from the format. Then you see it shows resetting the model space limit. From my right up here, I said ascertaining the unit of the working space, such as meter, millimeter, feet, inches, and etc. This is one of the important things, most especially based on each profession and depends on the kind of unit they are using. Like for example, most architects now, they prefer working with millimeter, mostly in engineering. When some other side they prefer working with feet, and some other units some prefer using inches, and some also prefer using centimeter. All this now based on your own preferable choice of unit. So just choose the one you like. That will be the first one you have to know. Then one thing you just have to know, by getting started from then if you want to set your drawing sheet, you always start from 0.0, just like you are plotting a graph. If you are plotting a graph, your vertical line always started from 0, whereby your horizontal line also starts from what's it called 0. Then by doing that, it's just putting 0. Once you put 0, and for you now to move to this second box, you can see the second option of the box is by clicking on the command. Click on the command, it will switch. Once it switch, it shows that you can see the locking, what's it called, the locking symbol. And it shows that the thing have moved from this 0, the first option of the first box option, to the second option, but the second thing, which is 0, and press enter. The purpose of this 0 enter 0 center is that we are starting from a initial point, and normally initial point is to start from 0 0 0. If you are plotting your, you always put something like 0, 0, which means the 0, the first 0 for the vertical, or the second 0 for the horizontal. Then if you do that, it is asking for this for you to specify the upper right corner. Specifying the upper right corner now, you can see that one depends. That's what I said from my right up. I said knowing the paper sets to be used, such as A0, A1, A2, A3, and A4, depending on the format to be used, such as ISO, full-fledged, high-end SI, and ARC HEC. Some of you, if you are very used to what's it called, all these columns are just type of format of paper. Then moreover, if you are using A4 paper, like now the paper says in ISO format now, and A form is equal to 210 by 297. This is the size of an A4 paper. Then in A3 paper is 297 by, how do we get this to 420? It is by multiplying the breadth of the what's it called, the breadth of the A4 paper. Then once I times it by 2, it will give you the what's it called, the length of the A3 paper. The same thing goes to A2 paper, maintaining the breadth of the A3 paper and multiplying 2, which will give a nice 9594. The same thing also goes to this A1 paper, is by keeping the length of the A2 paper as the breadth of the A4 paper, A1 paper, and multiplying the breadth of the A2 paper by 2, by which we give 840 as the length of A1 paper. Also, the same to go for the A9, which is keeping the length of the A1 paper as the breadth, multiplying the breadth of the A1 paper by 2. It will give you 1188. However, note, chooses one of these paper size above and convert it to your preferable working space, your working space unit. For example, let me imagine I want to work in a millimeter. For instance, now to work with a millimeter on A3 paper size, it should not be this is what you are going to choose, and this is what you are going to input on your specifying your upper right corner. For example, now I'm going to use A3, and the unit, the size of ISO paper on the A3 is 420 by 297, or is that can be 297 by 420. Then, like I said here, I said from the right up, for you to work with a millimeter on A3 paper size, it will be 297 by 420 millimeter, multiplied by 1000, the units of millimeter. It will result to 297 times 7000, which is 297,000 by 420,000 millimeter. Then just input this thing, what you have here. If you convert your, when you see this 6 is going to give you the same dimension, just the same measurement, the same result. By doing that, just put 297,000, comma. For you to log this and go to the second one, you just press comma, 420,000 and enter. Wow, Then if you can do that, we are done with step 1, which is setting of drawing limit. If you do that, then you can still apply the same thing. Like if you're working with a meter, like what I said in my write-up, I said also to work with meter on an ISO paper and an ISO A4 paper, which is 420 by 597. In this situation, you do not need to multiply or to do any arithmetic than to input the paper size, the paper dimension into the requirement. They're just like starting like clicking on the format. Once you select on the format, put the starting point, which is 0, 0, and it will ask you to specify the lower, the upper right corner. By you specifying the right corner, just put 2420 by 597. Then, like I said, if you are working on millimeter, this will be because the reason why you are not making a conversion or any arrangement is because the 3 degrees represent meter unit, and the minimum of 4 degrees represent millimeter. I think you should be used to this. When they say millimeter, a millimeter started from what's it called from 1,000, which is a 4 degrees, and then the hands of a meter start from 0 to 999 meter. If you understand what I mean, it's very simple as that we taught when we were in primary school. Then if you could do that, then we now go to the second steps. The second step is going to setting the unit. How do you set the unit? Setting the unit is you still need to go back to the format. If you are using the same interface, go to the format, click on the unit. You can see click on unit, and if you click on it, it will bring us a dialog. And if you are not using the same interface, just press type unit, just like you are typing a word and a letter. Type unit. You can see units. Click on it. It will still bring what you need. Then under the type, under the length, you need to set the precision. What is precision? Precision is just there. Then added is, let me just call it a surface. Is a number as is an added number after the old number. Like now you can see 0.00000, which means that from the whole number it will be added 4 digits, which we normally call it into when they ask you to convert something to 3 significant figure, or like it is here, it's 4 significant figure after the the old number. Then because I'm working in millimeter, and then I like to a very close result when I'm making a dimension, then I would prefer to be on a 0 on a whole number, which I set my own number, my precision as a whole number as a 0. If you wish, you can use 0.0. If you use, you can use 0.00. If you wish, just choose anyone you like, but I will go with this. Then under the intersection of the scale, then unit to scale inserted the content. Then because I've already known from the beginning that I'm working on a millimeter, then I will choose the preferable unit that is suitable to my my working setting, which is millimeter. If you do that, then concerning this angle type and angle type, the decimal degree, if you like working with a bearing, like whereby you ask you to move on a distance of an angle of 30 degree on a distance of something meter, then all this kind of thing, if you're working, and if that kind of bearing you're working on is in a decimal degree seconds, the most of surveyors, they prefer you working in decimal, minute, and second. Click on decimal unit, then your precision on this, you can see OD mean in 0 degree. Then if you see OD 00, you mean OD 0 degree 00 minute. You can see OD 00 minute 00 seconds. Then just choose the one we prefer to do. Then don't forget to click on the clockwise, because if we are working on the bearing, it's always move in the clockwise. Anti-clockwise involves minusing, or it's involves many calculations. You people that are very familiar to working in bearing or in physics. Then if you do that, come to the direction. The direction, perfect it to the nothing side, which is always been in nothing. Click on it and press OK. Then once you do that, you are done with the setting. Just click OK. Then we are done with the second steps. on our working list on how to create an environment in AutoCAD. If you do that, you are about to work, you can work. But one thing is that you can see if you on your your green line, you see that some of your green line on your on the interval of your AutoCAD is big. Now, which means that by the time you are creating a drawing or making any design on AutoCAD, it might be difficult to zoom to an extent. Now, what we're not going to do now is we're going to move. That's what I said in my third option. My third step, which is perfecting the working environment. How do we do that? And how to do this is just like pressing on Z. If you push on Z, and then if you are using a higher version of AutoCAD now, and you wish me that you have one of the luckiest people, because AutoCAD is kind of software that understands a thousand of commands. And any word, any alphabet, any word, any keyboard you click in AutoCAD gives you information concerning on what has been programmed on AutoCAD. Now, if you click on a Z, initially the initial meaning of Z in AutoCAD is zoom. Then you can be seeing other uses of Z. But if you press Z, push enter. If you press enter, it will ask you to specify the corner of the window, whereby enter a scale factor like this if you wish. Or if you go down here, you can see zoom, all, center, dynamic, extends, previous, scale, window, object. Then I would like, so that because we are getting started, we don't have any work we have not done any work on this. This is a new page. Then I would prefer to press. I will select all, which is A, zoom, enter. Then if you do that, you are ready to go. Then if you observe when you press A, there was an adjustment in your AutoCAD interface. That shows that you are done with your environment. Then you can start working with your AutoCAD. Thank you for listening. I'm still remembering my name. Hope you all share some. Bye for now.